For anyone looking to make a dishonest living, breaking into a Brink's facility is the Mount Everest of the criminal underworld. It is the ultimate test of a thief's ambition. Brink's began in 1859, moving luggage around Chicago. Over the next century, that localized delivery service grew into a global symbol of trust. To protect their high-value cargo, the company invested heavily in physical barriers. Modern depots were outfitted with infrared heat detectors, strict airlock door systems, and massive concrete-reinforced vaults. Success created a unique vulnerability. By building an entire corporate brand on the promise of being unrobbable, Brink's dared ambitious criminals to find a way in. Examining the 3 most infamous Brink's robberies shows us exactly how criminals answered that dare. These heists detail how global crime shifted from physical smash-and-grab jobs into sophisticated international enterprises. The 1950 Great Brink's Robbery in Boston represents the peak of the classic safecracker era. The perpetrators were traditional mobsters, driven by a simple desire for a massive, immediate payday. They spent 2 grueling years preparing. The crew successfully stole the depot's alarm system blueprints, returned them undetected, and then painstakingly removed the lock cylinders one by one so a locksmith could duplicate the keys. The execution was flawless. Wearing navy peacoats and rubber Halloween masks, 7 thieves walked right into the depot, bound the employees, and made off with $2.7 million in cash and securities in just 35 minutes. They got away completely clean. But the gang had agreed to wait out the 6-year statute of limitations before spending the money. As that deadline approached, the group fractured over how to divide the spoils. The tension peaked when an assassin tried to take out gang member Specs O'Keefe with a machine gun. O'Keefe survived the hit and immediately cut a deal with the FBI to testify against his former crew, leading to their arrest. This heist showed that even a flawless physical execution, 2 years of study, intricate key duplication, and precision timing, was completely useless against internal human friction. The era of the meticulous, independent safecracker was over. The FBI now knew that the vault wasn't the weakest link. The thieves were. In 1981, targeting armored trucks became a tool for ideological warfare. Radical groups began viewing these secure shipments as a method to finance a revolution. This police bulletin identifies the perpetrators as an alliance of radical terrorist groups, including the Weather Underground and the Black Liberation Army, working together to finance their operations. They abandoned meticulous lockpicking in favor of brute force. During a rush-hour stop, 6 men burst from the back of a U-Haul with automatic weapons, ambushing the guards and police. 2 officers were killed in the shootout. To build their ranks, these groups targeted specific communities. They used the Lincoln Detox Center in the South Bronx, a drug rehab facility, as a recruiting ground to radicalize individuals for their cause. Bank vaults and armored trucks were no longer just targets for profit. They were essential supply lines for violent domestic terrorism. In 1983, the target was a Brink's Mat depot on the edge of London's Heathrow Airport. Known as Unit 7, it was considered the safest building in Britain, monitored by microwave disturbance sensors and body heat detectors. The thieves who targeted Unit 7 bypassed every piece of electronic security without picking a lock. They simply exploited a human vulnerability by convincing an inside man, a guard named Tony Black, to help them. During a 6:30 a.m. shift, Black deliberately let the masked intruders into the building. Because he had the necessary keys, the gang easily bypassed the internal airlocks, overpowered the remaining guards, and gained full access to the vault. The gang broke in expecting a haul of cash. Instead, they found 3 tons of solid gold bullion worth nearly £26 million. Traditional tactics couldn't move an asset this heavy. To liquidate 3 tons of gold, the gang had to move past the underworld and into the legitimate financial system. The 1983 robbers were staring down a logistical nightmare. Stealing the gold was the easy part. Liquidating it required a massive, coordinated effort to avoid collapsing their own network. Street-level robbers couldn't move this kind of asset on their own. They were forced to seek out intermediaries who specialized in professional services and international trade. This network consisted of respectable lawyers, accountants, and international bankers who were willing to facilitate the trade in exchange for a cut. These professionals melted down the bullion, disguised the origins of the money, and injected the profits directly into the legitimate global service economy. Britain was becoming a handler nation. The economy was decoupling from heavy industry and production, finding its profit in the expertise of service and international trade. The Brink's gold flowed perfectly through these new, invisible channels. Security remains an eternal arms race. No matter how thick the concrete is poured, criminals will not stop trying to break in. They will simply move the battleground into the invisible world of global services.